All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the final night of my 3-day live series on the importance of being you. First, just let me say thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone that's been rocking with me for the past 2 days and everyone that's caught the replays. Just a little recap of what we've done for the people that haven't been able to see it yet. The first night we talked about why I'm so passionate about living an authentic life and why I'm so passionate about helping other people live that life. And the second night, we actually went to work and did some self reflection and made sure that we knew how to find our voice and find our magic. So, tonight, we're going to be talking about filling our space. And as always, please feel free to interact with me in the comments. Drop a comment, drop a question. If I don't see it during the live, I will definitely address it after the live. So, when I talk about what it means to fill our space, what I'm saying is that we are confidently and boldly utilizing the space that God has given us. We're showing up as ourselves, we're accessing our resources, we're obtaining what we need to obtain as far as help, and we're utilizing our gifts and our talents. Now, what are we not doing? We are not shrinking ourselves. We're not hiding ourselves. We're not inconveniencing ourselves so that other people might feel comfortable or other people might feel valued. We're not moving over and missing out on blessings because we think that someone else might deserve it more. So, you guys know, like from the last 2 nights, I like to think about, and talk about where I've struggled with some of this stuff. And so, when I thought about struggling with filling my space, one of the first memories I could think of was learning how to drive. Okay. So, my dad was teaching me how to drive, and he was using a Ford Ranger. And it's a pickup truck, right? It was green. We called it the Green Ranger. And so, for those that don't know me personally, I'm about 5'3". So, people would consider me short. One of my besties likes to say I'm fun size. So, I'll take that. And so, he wanted to make sure that I was able to drive in any type of vehicle and be comfortable. And so he chose the pickup truck out of all the other cars that we had available. He chose the pickup truck for me to learn how to drive. So, just like most people, we started in an empty parking lot, so I could get comfortable. Once I got comfortable there, we graduated to the road. And so, at some point, it was time to learn how to parallel park. And so, most people would say, okay, you go, back to the parking lot, you put some cones down, and you learn how to park within the cones. Not my daddy. So what he decided we were going to do is go to a busy street in downtown Birmingham that was a one-way street. So the only thing you could do was either parallel park or you would have to drive off. And so I'm 15. I'm in a pickup truck. I'm 5'3", and I am trying to learn how to parallel park on this busy street. We got cars backing up behind me, and the only thing I can think is, oh my God, I'm holding these people up, right? Like these folks have places to go, folks might need to get back to work or whatever, and I am holding them up. I probably should have been more concerned with maybe hitting some of the parked cars, but I wasn't. I was more concerned about what other people might be experiencing or how they might be feeling about what I was doing. So, who can relate to that? Who's tried to either parallel park or back into a spot and you notice people were behind you? And so instead of, taking the time to do what you needed to do, you just went on and pulled off and found another spot. If you can relate to that, drop me in the chat. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for that. So, just so you guys know, my dad was not at all bothered by the situation. He had no problem filling his space. And in that moment, he wasn't going to allow me to be bothered either. So he was like, no, we're going to do this and we're going to do it now. And so he had me back in. I did pretty well. And so then what happened, he let the other cars go by. I had to pull out, circle the block, come back to that same spot or another spot and do it again. Right. And so we did that a few times. And now I think I'm a pretty good, parallel park person, right? My husband might not agree, but I think I am. And anytime I have to park in Baltimore or DC, I thank God for my dad. And I thank God for that lesson. Now, that wasn't just a lesson in driving, that was a lesson in life, right? And so basically, what the lesson was is don't let your concerns about what other people think about your journey, don't let those concerns stop you from your assignment. Don't let those concerns get you off track for what it is God is trying to show you. Okay. Make sure that you're not moving yourself to the side and you're not shrinking yourself so you can make things easier or more comfortable for other people. Now, Melissa Fredericks, for those that don't know, her husband Kev on stage is a comedian, and Melissa loves to say, be the main character in your life, right? And we have to make sure that we are the main characters in our life and in our story. We can't be the supporting cast. We have to fill the space and the role of the main character. We have to be upfront and present in our own lives. And as she would say, we have to have main character energy. Okay, so if you guys don't take anything else away tonight, have main character energy. So, for a few minutes, let's look at the ways that we can fill our space. We're going to talk about three different things. We're going to talk about our rights, our boundaries, and our dreams. Okay? So let's start with our rights. When I talk about rights, I'm talking about what we are entitled to, the things that we don't apologize for. And so I'm going to list a few of my rights right now. And if you feel comfortable, as I'm saying mine, list some of yours in the chat. So I have the right to enjoy the life that God has given me. I have the right to love and be loved. I have the right to be me all the time. I have the right to feel safe and secure. I have the right to speak up and to ask questions. I have the right to have my feelings. And I want to stop right there for a moment. I talk about feelings a lot, of course, in therapy. And kids will sometimes say, oh, I got in trouble because I was angry. And I always want to make this distinction for my families. You don't get in trouble because of your feelings. You have every right to have your feelings. And your feelings are valid because they're yours. What you usually get in trouble for is the behavior that comes with the feeling. All right, so I always want to make sure my parents are clear when they're giving consequences. You're giving consequences for behaviors. People have the right to feel however they want to feel. Their behavior still has to be appropriate. So you can feel angry and not curse somebody out. You can feel angry and not throw things. You can feel angry and not become violent, right? So we have to be appropriate with our behaviors, and we have every right to have our feelings. Okay. Oh, I see some rights in the comments. Yes, I have the right to my faith. Come on. I have the right to be happy. Oh, now Kim, and for you guys that don't know, I have about 5 besties, and most of them are on here right now. And so one of my besties just said, I have the right to say no. And we're Kim, that's on my list. That's why you're my sister. That's my last one. So I have the right to my feelings. I have the right to my opinions. I have the right to disagree with your opinion. And I have the right to say yes. And I have the right to say no. Okay. And so that leads us to boundaries. So part of filling our space is understanding where someone else's rights end and where our rights begin. People have the right to ask of you what they will, and you have the right to say yes or no. And I always tell my friends, no is a whole sentence. No doesn't have to come with explanations. It doesn't have to come with apologies. It doesn't have to come with excuses. No can stand on its own. And so when we're living a free life, we don't feel bad about saying no because we understand that if God has given us an assignment, we have to have good boundaries to carry out that assignment. And that's going to mean saying no to some things. And so, what are some things that we might have to say no to? We might have to say no to drama. We might have to say no to overscheduling ourselves. We might have to say no to overcommitment. That's me right here. We might have to say no to being overly involved in other people's stuff. And so there's a meme that says, you're tired because you're taking on stuff that doesn't belong to you. And we have to really watch that. Now, of course, this stuff comes out of a great place, right? Like, we do things for people because we have caring and giving hearts. But we also have to make sure that we remember everything doesn't belong to us. And when we are clear on our boundaries, we're able to practice self-care and be more effective. So just a side note, self-care is also my jam in addition to being my authentic self. So I'm all about it. I'm all for it. I speak on it actually a lot. And so you guys might get another series about self-care. I see you, sis, saying I'm stepping on toes. Just say ouch. So if we're not respecting our rights, if we're not setting our boundaries, then we're not being as effective as we can be. And what is it that we're not being effective at? We're not being effective at pursuing our dreams. So that's our third point. Our dreams, those things that God has put on the inside of us. Did you know that a lot of times when you desire to create something, when you desire to say something, do something, or be something, that has been put on the inside of you by God. It's there for a reason. It's part of your purpose. And so when we're filling our space, we're boldly pursuing our dreams and our desires. We're not allowing what other people might think or what they might feel to stop us or hinder us from doing that thing that we've been called to do. And we don't even really worry about the support, right? Because sometimes we get stuck on, well, I thought so and so was going to support me, or I thought she would have shown up, or he would have shown up better than that. We can't get distracted by those things. We have to do those things that we've been called to do. We have to boldly pursue. And so when we're being our authentic selves, that means that we have acknowledged that we have been called to do something important. And it's also something that's necessary. And as we pursue our dreams, we are filling the space that God has given us. We are using and being appreciative of the space that He is allowing us to have. So, in order to fill our space, we're going to know our rights and we're going to act accordingly. We're going to identify and implement our boundaries. And we're going to boldly and confidently pursue our dreams. Okay? So, guys, that's all I have for you tonight as far as that goes. But before you leave, I got a couple of more things I wanted to tell you. So, one, I wanted to do a giveaway to say thank you for everybody that's been on and that's been supporting me. So I'm giving away one of the books that I discussed last night. And let me just say thank you to everyone that has reached out and said like, oh, I added, the books that you talked about to my reading list, or some people have already ordered the books. And y'all, it makes me feel really good to know that you guys are like working, right? You're doing some self-reflection. You're working to be more authentic with yourself. So the book that I wanted to give away is Look, Stop Hiding, right, by Dr. Kristen Guillory. So I told you guys already, this is my speaking coach. She's absolutely amazing. And she gets me together when I'm trying to dim my light. And she makes sure that I'm being my authentic self. So I promise you this book would be a blessing to you. And so all you have to do is tag at least one friend in the comment section of this video. And so you have until tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern time to tag a friend, at least one. You can tag more. Please tag more. And I will jump on live probably around 11 Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. tomorrow, and I'll announce the winner. Okay. Now, like I told you guys the first night, I love to interact with people. I love to connect with folks. Connecting is my thing. And so I wanted to tell you guys about a couple of ways that you can connect with me. Okay. So the first way is to sign up for emails. So I will be sending out emails about my upcoming events, about different guest appearances that I'll have on like people's podcast or workshops that I'm going to give. And so my husband is going to drop a link in the chat, and I'll actually add it to the body of the live once the live is over. But he's going to drop a link for you right now, so you guys can sign up. It's real simple. It only asks you for your first name and for whatever email address you choose. And so that way you guys can stay in touch with me. In addition to signing up for the emails, you guys can also follow me on my mental health pages. So I have created a social media space called Heart and Soul Mental Health, and it's a space where I give out mental health tools and techniques. I am really passionate about making sure that people have good mental health. And so I want to make sure that everybody, but especially people of color, understand what it takes to have good mental health. So you can follow me at Heart, the letter N, Soul, the letter M, the letter H. So again, Heart, letter N, Soul, letter M, letter H, on Facebook, IG, and Twitter. It's the same on all of them. And my husband is going to drop that in the chat as well. So, guys, I am saying good night, but not goodbye. I've had a number of people deposit into me, into my spirit, over the past 3 days. And I think the consensus is that God is doing a mighty work. And so there will be more to come. So I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm just going to say good night. And I hope you all are well.